Welcome to this masterclass, part of the GreenSkills Plus project. This session is part of a dynamic series featuring multiple experts from Schneider Electric who will be sharing their knowledge on key topics essential for young people looking to upskill and deepen their understanding on the green energy industry. We invite you to stay with us until the end and don't forget to register now on the Schneider Electric University website, our free digital learning platform, to stay up to date with all the content we have prepared for you. Today, we are diving into the critical world of cybersecurity, a domain that's becoming increasingly vital in the green energy sector. Leading this session is Suresh, Senior Principal Architect based in Bangalore, India. With over 20 years of experience in software development across diverse industries, Suresh has been a key contributor at Schneider Electric since 2008. He has played a pivotal role in aligning Schneider Electric's R&D practices cybersecurity standards. As a senior member of ISA, he actively contributes to the evolution of these global standards. With his deep expertise and strategic insight, Suresh will guide us through the essentials of cybersecurity, helping young professionals understand how to protect digital infrastructure in energy systems. Whether you're training to be an electrician or a solar technician, this session will empower you with knowledge that's not just relevant but essential for your future in the industry. So, welcome, Suraj, to this masterclass, and please let's get started.
Thank you, Manila, for the brief introduction. Hello, all. I'm Suresh, and welcome to the Masterclass series on cybersecurity. I'm glad and very excited to begin this education adventures with each of one of you. So, first and foremost, this masterclass will take you deep dive into the various threats, importance of cybersecurity, and what is the importance of the privacy, how to identify the social engineering tactics and the best practices to follow, and how to like away from the cyber attacks or from away from the cyber crooks or the criminals, right? First and foremost, we must know what is cybersecurity, right? So the cybersecurity, in simple term, it is a practice, right? It's not only the technology, it is a practice of protecting the computer system, network, data from the digital attack and unauthorized access. It is essentially about keeping your digital information. It may be your personal identifiable information like your email address, your phone number, your name, your PAN card detail, your Aadhaar card detail, whatever it may be, right? And your devices. The devices can be your mobile, your laptop, or whatever the devices which you are going to be operate or you are going to engage with, that should be safe from the any harm or any cyber attacks. So when you say that cyber security, it's not only like keeping your personal information. It's about your online account. When I say online account, it can be your bank account, your email account, or your say social media account, whatever the account you are going to be operating. So when I say that personal information, online account, or even the system that run in the critical infrastructure, right? So today we are using most of our systems. When I say the system, it's maybe a industrial control system or a power products into our critical infrastructure. We need to save and we need to secure and away from the cyber attacks. So when you go further, and we need to discuss more about why cybersecurity matters for all. It's not only technical people, or it's not only the students like you. The cybersecurity is matter for everybody in this world, right? So why it is important? What you are seeing in the left hand side, that is the five critical information we want to protect. One is about the PI, that is a personal identifiable information protection. As I explained before, the personal identifiable information can be anything, right? It is going to be a sensitive personal information which we are not allowed any unauthorized people to use and disclose and distract, right? So personal identifiable information can be your bank account, your date of birth, or your address or phone number, whatever it may be. When it comes into an organization, it is very important to protect the intellectual property. So when I say intellectual property, it may be an idea, it may be a project, or it may be a document what we produce from the organization that should be protected. So when I say that intellectual property, it may be an innovation or a creative assets what exclusively remain to that particular organization. We need to secure, we need to save from the unauthorized access. The financial safety, needless to say, today most of our cyber attacks happening for a monetary benefit. They may attack a bank server, or they may be compromise the user account and try to loot money from the users, right? And needless to say, again, the government defense, each and every government organization and the defense organization of any country, they are spending a lot of money to protect their infrastructure, protect their information, and protect any disruption of their essential service from the cyber attack. So when you see here the ransomware prevention, so first and foremost, we should know about what is ransomware. The ransomware is basically a malware, so it is mainly built for a malintent. It will make sure that like any of the user machine is going to be inaccessible for some time, paying a required amount of money. What the cyber criminals are asking, we need to pay and make sure that our content are accessible. So when you see here this kind of ransomware, it's evolving in across the globe. We are building, like in the cyber criminals are building ransomware as a service, so we can pay money to those services and pay those ransomware and start utilizing this ransomware to attack any critical infrastructure, make sure that there is not accessible. So we need to protect and we need to away from all this malintent practice from the cyber criminal, and we need to protect our identifiable information, our financial information, or intellectual property, and we need to protect ourselves from any financial loss. So that is the main focus on the cybersecurity, why it's important for all, right? So when you see this cybersecurity, as I said, the cybersecurity is a practice and it's a knowledge, and it's important for anybody who is practicing the cybersecurity. It is paramount for all the people who is involving into any of the digital transaction in the world. For it is when it's come to the young professional like you, there are various opportunity we could see from the cybersecurity point of view in the domain perspective. When I say like, okay, we are building, like a digital assets. How do we protect the digital assets? Today, our most of our infrastructure, right? When you see like any infrastructure you take, you are managing your bank account, you are managing your social media account. So the digital infrastructure and the modern ecosystem is more and more interconnected today, right? When you go into the industrial automation side, or if you go to any factory, most of these technologies are connected, starting from sensors, starting you take any robots, it's are connecting to the sensor and it talking to the process area and collecting the data, and it taking the decision automatically, right? So there is a lot of scope on the digital infrastructure protection, and there is a lot of scope on how we are going to protect the digital assets in our day-to-day life. When I say the cybersecurity into the young professional, there is a various career opportunity. This is one of the growing or on-demand domain, wherein the people like you can get trained and make sure that like we are getting the adequate knowledge on the cybersecurity. Your knowledge will help for the nation, also the global impact it will make. How to away from the cyber attacks from the cyber criminals. When I say cybersecurity, it's not only the technology and the practices, again, I said, it will interconnect multiple interdisciplinary relevance, right? When I say interdisciplinary, the cybersecurity will touch with some of the lawmakers, some of the policy makers, or, like educational institute who want to, like provide a valuable cybersecurity, domain practices, right? And when you say today in the current demand, it's about the digital age, cybersecurity is a foundational skill. Like any other skill, like financial skill or engineering skills, cybersecurity is a foundational skill in the digital age. So we have various opportunity in the cybersecurity domain, and every day we are having a growing demand on the cybersecurity space, and it is like one of the valuable domain, and we have a lot of opportunities in the cybersecurity. When you go further into the cybersecurity, there is a lot of myths and facts. We need to understand what is myths around us and what is the real fact on this. What are the myths, right? When I have a machine, I have installed my antivirus software. So all the machine we are recommend to have an antivirus to protect any of like the data exfiltration or any data specific attack. We are looking for a antivirus inside the machines or the user machine. When I say user machine, it's going to be your laptop, it's going to be your physical server, or it's going to be your mobile device. It's not like that antivirus is going to protect your entire digital assets, right? Antivirus is one of the critical layer in the defense, but it is not going to protect your entire system from the cyber attack. We need a multiple layer approach that we call the defense in depth approach. If someone is trying to attack, trying to exfiltrate some of your information, antivirus will act like a first level of defense. It's not always be a complete foolproof device attack, right? And like there are like a myth like, okay, if I could delete some of my critical information from my machine, say for example, if you're storing some of your financial information, say for example your bank account details, some of your critical username and password into your machine, when you are exchanging your machine to someone else, if you are deleting those information from your laptop or the physical server, it doesn't mean that you are completely like the data is completely erased from your machine. It will be an opportunity for an attacker. Somehow they can recover those deleted information and they can get your personal identity information. So make sure that you have a proper antivirus is installed. You are when you are deleting your information, make sure that double sure that it's properly deleted from your machine or not. And sometimes we say that, right? Okay, if cyber attacks are trying to attack me from, or if they are trying to capture my machine somehow, we always know that there is some malintent activities going on my machine, going on my mobile, going on my infrastructure. It's not always the case. The modern malware, when I say malware, it is a mal software. It is a design such a way that it is a stealthy in nature, and it is completely masked from the existence, and they can breach your system or your critical infrastructure without any like information exchange between you. So we will not be completely unaware of what's going in behind the scene. They may like completely taking the control of your mobile, or control of your laptop, control of your complete physical infrastructure, and they can try to their or they can realize their objective on certain means, right? And as I started initially, cybersecurity it is not a technical, and cybersecurity is not only a practice. It is not, again, it's not only for a technical people. Each one of us inside in the globe, we should know what is cybersecurity, what sort of the attack is happening around the world, and how to like avoid, how to protect ourselves, protect our data, protect our financial information from this kind of cyber attacks. So when you see this myth and facts, what is important for us is cybersecurity is important for all. It's not only for a technical people. When you say cybersecurity is further, what is we need to aware of is about in specific in India. So I'm not going to capture here. I'm not going to discuss or the attacks which happening around the globe. There are n number, right? So what you can see here is there are the critical the data breach, the cyber data breach attack or a data exfiltration attack happened during last 2 years, that between the 2022 and 2024. It doesn't mean that today in 2025 there is no attack. Yes, every day there is someone is trying to attack some of the critical infrastructure. Someone is trying to exfiltrate some of our critical information. What you are seeing here is one of the very few critical attack happen during like last few years. The when you take some of the example here, what you see here, like one of the primary example of the data breach is this parts data breach that happened in 2023, wherein most of the defense people informations got leaked. So when I say defense people information, these parts, the portal is mainly useful for maintaining their provident funds of the defense or the central government employees. Those data got breached. And likewise in the Sun Pharma, the cyber attack, wherein like we have significant attack in the drug makers. This will be shaken the industry for some time. what will happen to the healthcare providers, right? So here also the exfiltration of the information, the user specific information, or their IP specific information got leaked, but it was controlled in the right time, right? Likewise, if we can take about the car manufacturer, the Hyundai Motors India, so their data got leaked. So their user data, like when their car got services, what car they are using, what are the user information, the car number, engine number, chassis number, their address, everything got leaked, and it is against control. How it got leaked? Just WhatsApp link they have sent to the customer. That link got a mal link. The user got clicked, and this user information got like leaked into the black market. Right. So we have to be very careful on this kind of the attacks, and we should be aware of this every day, every minute, and every seconds. Someone is trying to compromise. Someone is trying to exfiltrate those information. As again stated earlier, we can say that, okay, if I have an antivirus, I am completely isolated my machine from the network. It doesn't mean that our informations are protected, right? There is a chances, high chances that our information can get leaked. So we should aware of it. We should protect ourselves, and we should aware of various cyber attacks and what are the protection mean we can engage. We should know that. So when you go further on like the cyber attacks, it's important for us is cyber threats and cyber security and attacks. It's not happen for last 2 years. It's an evaluation. It's a journey, right? When you go back, go when you go back a decade or 2 decade, right? In early days when we are start building a mainframe computers, right? So it is not very much the cloud connected. So it's a mainframe, say computer. It's occupied one big room, data, like a process, everything happening onto that control room. But even though we were protecting those machine, how? Not digitally, but we are employed physical security around it. What is those physical security? So probably like the server might be locked. Cyber is the server room is like provided with the proper access control. Only the permission or a privileged people can go and access those machine. Those machines probably will be controlled by the user management. Only the privileged user can log into the machine and they can do the necessary job. From there, like the evaluation started. We could find the first virus. We call virus, and there was a various form of like a mal software. We will discuss later whether it's going to be a virus, whether it's going to be a worm, or it may be a adware, spyware. So there is various form of like the mal software can be built. But first virus, it can be identified during 1972, 73 range. So, and that is, it's a kind of experimental virus. Some of the cyber attack, they are trying for their educational purpose, and that's evolved. And today, these kind of, like virus are evolved, day by day. Today, we are into a era of artificial intelligence. It's a matter of time. I can ask like the like any chat gpts or any chatbot, hey, can you produce mal software? The matter of time I can get it. I can execute into the attack in the targeted machine. So it's easy today to build any like the mal software. But as a like a cyber hygiene practice, we should be aware of it. We should be protect again AI against AI, right? So we need to build a system which should completely protect from the artificial intelligence specific attack. So the early days, only the physical security and password protection I explained. Then in later 1980s, we are getting into the internet era. So our machines are connected to the internet. People started using emails. People started using the first browser. They started exploring the content across the globe. The first Wikipedia got launched. The people started creating the content and they're sharing their knowledge across the globe. So wherein at the moment the system connected to the internet, it is going out of my boundary, meaning from the home I can connect it to the internet. From the industry or organization, I can connect it to the internet. So how do we protect it? The evaluation of the firewall started, antivirus started, and like the hacking culture slowly evolved because the people sit across the globe. and they can try to connect to the any system through the internet, right? And then in later 1990s, the e-commerce era started, wherein we started using the e-commerce portal. Today we are evolved from there. We are using Amazon, we are using Flipkart, we are using like the eBay. There is various e-commerce portal today available, wherein the people started purchasing or engaging their activity from the home. What happened, right? Evaluation of the cybersecurity started from internet, and they started doing the phishing and identity theft. As I started before, the personal identifier information, we started exchanging our personal information to the e-commerce portal. Who I am, what is my mobile number, what is where I am sitting. So for the address specific need started, wherein like the people from the e-commerce, they send the parcel or a package to the home. So we started exchanging our home address, our phone numbers, our interest in terms of the shopping. I am very interested on the cloth. I am interested on the cosmetics. So our personal information started exchanging across the globe. Okay, various compliances started building around it. How to protect the information. When you go to the e-commerce, like not only the shopping, we started engaging with the financial activity. We started link our credit card, we started link our debit card into the e-commerce portal for a shopping. So wherein like the people started getting into more and more and more, they're engaging in the monetary cyber attack. They start attacking the financial institution from our financial information what we shared in the e-commerce portal. So the technology evolved along with that. Like wherein we started most of our e-commerce portal, we started engaging the compliances like, okay, we have to CI PCI DSS, this data security, like protection on the credit card industry. That's evolved. And we started encrypting our communication over channel. In say for example SSL or a TLS, we are encrypting our communications so that no intrusion or no interception can happen what data communicating over the internet. And like earlier, like a 2000 or later, we are into the cloud era. The data reside inside the server. The data started moving into the cloud. The process from happening inside the local machine, the process started happening into the cloud. It's where it is processing, where the data stored into the globe or across the server, we are not aware, because we are pushing the data into the cloud. The cloud is again is the like internet specific services in a nutshell. So we are pushing our content into the cloud, and like the data started flooding across the globe, and anyone can access and anyone can see if we are not well protect the data. And the culture of mobile started. People started using the advanced mobile which can connect anywhere access. Started like watching or reviewing or viewing their mobile mail information into the mobile devices. Start doing e-commerces from mobile. Social media started its own boom, started from 2005 2015 time frame. People started engaging more and more and more into the mobile devices. Anywhere connectivity, anywhere data exchange started. So technology evolved again. We have started bringing the zero trust model in between. So we will discuss about the zero trust in later point in time. And today we are into the AI or IoT or a quantum era. So more and more machine learning and artificial intelligence started evolving. So artificial intelligence again working on the data. So we should protect the data. We should like leverage of the data existence. We need to like clear on what data we are exchanging. It's not like that you can share all the data onto the cloud, and we should not allow the cyber attackers or any crooks can exfiltrate our data. So that is like we need to understand the cyber evaluation, where it started, where we are today. So when we go further on, like from the evaluation to um, the further on this, we should know and aware of the different keywords what we use in this cyberspace. One is about the vulnerability. When we say vulnerability is nothing but the weakness, right? We can easily compare from a house which we have built building with the full concrete, and the house we are building in a haystack, right? So there is a two different safety and security. How secure the haystack house, how secure, like this, the house built by a concrete, right? So these are the vulnerability, how the cyber attackers, or how cyber attack can happen through, is the weakness. What is the weakness inside the system? Whether, like whether my system is completely secure, whether my system or a data what I am storing inside the system is well protected. If I have any weakness, that weakness can be exploited by an attacker. When I say attacker, who is attacker here? Attackers are cyber criminals who has the malintent, and cyber attackers can have in a various they have various motivation. Some attacker have really motivated to exfiltrate the personal information. Some attackers have intention or objective to get the financial benefit. Some attacker have intention to impact the operation of the particular organization or industry. Some attacker have a motivation to have a geopolitical like intention. They want to attack particular country, they want to attack the critical infrastructure of certain countries, right? So attacker can have into the various form. It's not only, okay, they will be only attack the computer system, they are only attack or exfiltrate the personal information. No, it's purely based on their motivation, what is their intent, how they are investing time and money to attain their objective. When you go with that vulnerability, and when you talk about an attacker, how and what mean they can exploit the weakness in the system through the malware. The malware is nothing but is the software that is built in a malintention. This software can be useful to exfiltrate some of the information, or making sure that this malware can go and laterally move into the entire critical infra and try to impact that infrastructure. When I say critical infrastructure, it can be anything. It can be a water reservoir, it can be a nuclear power plant, it can be the normal biscuit factories, right? Or a cookies factory, right? So wherein, what is their motivation, attacker motivation? Based on that, they will identify a vulnerability inside the system. Accordingly, they will make a malware. With the malware, they will get into the system and exfiltrate this information, or making sure that the availability of the system is impacted. When I say this cybersecurity, there's a two aspects on the cybersecurity we have to be clear. One is the privacy, one is the security. What we are going to secure. When I say the privacy and security, it's go hand in hand, but it is a related term. The privacy is basically talking about, as I started, like personal identifier information. It can be your email, it can be your phone number, your credit card detail, your biometric information, start from your fingerprint, iris reader, or voice recognition. Anything can be private. If it is a private to you, it is, we need to apply the privacy on that. It's not like that I can share this information to anyone, right? Attackers are very keen on this information, the private information of any, like a public or any industry, and they will be selling this private information into the black market, right? And when we want to protect the privacy, we need to apply the security. So how we are going to do this, and what we are going to apply with the security is mainly for protecting against unauthorized access, right? For example, if your credit card information, the credit card information, it is private information, and the CVV number, that the number, the 16-digit number which is encoded inside on the credit card, this is the private information. We need to protect from unauthorized access, right? And we need to limit the access. For example, you have a sensitive informations like your email account, that should be well protected with the complex password. Those are all the private information you need to protect. So privacy and the security go hand in hand. When I say cyber security, it is the both. We are going to protect your private information with the adequate amount of security. So it's important to understand, the various aspects of what is the cybersecurity norms, and cybersecurity, how, where we are going to protect. And we discuss about the malware, and important to understand the types of malware. There is a various type of malware. What you're seeing here are some of like a known malware type, starting from the spyware. So when you say spyware, it will check your online activities and start capturing your data. When you have spyware installed in your machine by some mean, what it does, it will start capturing your keystroke, for example what password you are keying in, and it will start exfiltrate those information and send it to the people who are really interested or who install this spyware on your machine. Adware, this is a malicious software designed to display unwanted advertisement. For example, they say that like you own like iPhone model number 16. You click here and get enroll this program and get your iPhone 16 free of cost. It's adware, right? So you will be bait into it and start giving your information. Immediately they can install any of their mal software and they start taking your personal information. Ransomware, I touched on this. It's basically the main intention of the ransomware is to um, exfiltrate or extract your money. Either it may be in a dollar or in a euro or the huge money. What they will do is they will captivate your system, your critical system, which we cannot lose those data. They will captivate it and they will ask you to pay certain amount or a money to unlock those systems. Virus, we all know that it is a general term. The virus is basically it will come along with your legitimate program. For example, you are receiving any document from unknown sources. So if the document explain about something else, right, and there will be a link, and that link can be attached with any virus. The moment we click, the virus will be getting into your system and it will meet your objective. Likewise, the worm, there is a difference between the virus and the worm. Virus need an action from the user. The worm, basically it will replicate independently. So we don't need any specific action is required. It know the path, it come into the machine and start connecting into the network. Wherever you connect your machine, either it may be your laptop, your physical machine, or your mobile devices, it will start laterally move into the multiple system and start capturing the information whatever they want. So Trojan is basically is again it's another type of malware. It looks like a legitimate program, but it will trick the user to install into their machine and then start activating their malintent. The botnet, make sure that it's like a zombie. It will make use of your machine as an attacker machine, and it will start like looking after your network, and it will be idle into your machine in a dormant mode. Whenever it look for any specific interesting data, it will capture and send to the attacker. So these are all the different type of malware, so we should aware of it. So the what is we are recommending is don't trust any advertisement which is making fancy, as I mentioned the iPhone case, and make sure that don't install any unwanted software which you feel like it is not coming from the legitimate sources. Sometimes it comes as a free of cost. Don't trust and install into our machine. Okay. So when we learn about the type of malware, when we are talking about the different attacks, what is important for us is what is the current trend, right? Which is driving the cyber risk into the in 2025, right? Thanks to COVID, so we are engaging or we are promoting more and more remote working into most of the industry today, especially the industry like the IT, wherein we are allowed to connect from the remote. And most of the industry today, whether it is going to be a critical infrastructure or it's a manufacturing plant, they are allowed to workers to connect remotely for monitoring certain system. So the system or the infrastructure is well connected into the internet, and like we need to protect those access at the entry point, correct? And we are engaging more and more bring your own devices, meaning the industry, it's not only the industry own devices. The employee can allow to bring their own laptop, their own mobile devices, connect into the critical infrastructure and start delivering their day-to-day activity. So the remote working is increasing. Make sure that when we are going and bringing our own devices and connect to the network, our devices should be away from all this malware, the type of malware what we discussed in the previous slide. IoT is evolving. This is again in the industry automation. The IoT is evolving today. That is industrial Internet of Things. So wherein like we are connecting the industry into the cloud network or into the internet. We are pushing our data into the remote server for applying some of our AML algorithm to prevent to build some of our predictive analytics or a monitoring system. Cloud enablement, as I discussed, most of our data is not only inside our machine, the data is exchanged across the globe through the cloud connectivity. Ransomware as service, as I said, it's not like today, it's not too hard to build any malware or a ransomware software. I pay certain money to some of the service provider. I can purchase a ransomware and I can ship it to the target users and target machine and make sure that they are getting into the ransomware attack. And the rise of AI, this artificial intelligence, it's advanced technology today. It's not only like impacting. It's both benefits and it's a disadvantage too. Like so today there is a lot of advantages also the artificial intelligence provide. So we are building the artificial intelligence antiviruses. So it will start learning your system, understand the user behavior, what sort of data come in, and then it will react based on any attack. It's a good intent. And that's made same time the people are using artificial intelligence for a mal intent, and they are building the like viruses or adware. It's a matter of like ask the chat gpt or any like llm model. They can ask, okay, give me a malware with this is my intention, that will provide a script. I can ship it to any user and make sure that they are fall into the cyber attack. So these are all the mega trends, and across the globe today we are spending like the huge amount of money. We are almost spending, like it's a rough figure what I'm showing here. It's almost 10 trillion dollar investment in 2025 we are investing across the globe for building a system against a cyber attack. And the same time attackers also investing to build a malware to attacks and get their motivation realized, right? So we could see a 10 percentage of growth on this investment because of the cyber attack what we are seeing, the technology advancement. As I stated initially, our most of our ecosystems are well connected in digital. Okay, so like it's very important. The trends, the what the technology trends, it's evolving. Parallelly the cyber attacks also is evolving using those technologies. So when we go further, there is the important aspects today on 2025 what we should aware of it. Most of like a people, they are not onto the cyber awareness. They are easily attacked by a social engineering. So I'm not going to focus on other technique because social engineering is very important aspects on the current trend. People are getting attracted by the social engineering attack. So what is the social engineering attack? This is a practice. It's basically like manipulating someone and giving the sensitive information. For example, sometime like we will be receiving the email, like for example a CEO of a company, or like a principal, or like a educational institute leaders saying, sending some mail saying that it's a phishing email, says that, hey, can you share your password, username and password? It's important to connect your machine for a certain ABC activity. So we will be getting like getting that urgency, and we won't think too much. Okay, someone is asking, it's my boss is asking, my manager is asking, my teachers is asking, my professor is asking. I need to share my information immediately, even before thinking. Right? This is where the social engineering attack is getting more and more. They will be creating a scareware. What is this scareware? Basically, they will be sending email to the people who is having the bank account, says that, okay, your account will be locked in next 15 minutes. You have to share your bank account detail with username and password to activate it. We won't think, we will send those information. So that's where scareware will start. And email hacking, as I mentioned, is very related. Phishing, baiting is basically, as I explained before, they will be sending an email that you own iPhone 16 Pro. To claim it, you have to share your bank details. We will be sending this to your home address or the address whatever you mention. We will be curious and we'll go and click the link. We'll be getting into the cyber attack. Okay, so always we recommend that never trust. Okay, so don't trust anyone. When I say anyone who is sending those email and sending to the pretext or asking you to do certain like a mail intended link click, don't trust them. Always verify whether it is coming from the legitimate source, whether this mail is sent by a particular like a financial organization like a bank, or this email is coming from my educational institute, then react on that. Okay, and as I always say that first is never trust and always verify. Also, first you pause first. Don't react immediately. Hold for some time, read about that, and understand this cyber risk and act later on that what can be shared or you want to ignore them. So interest of like the topic, and we can go further on the common mistakes. This is I explained or touched on a little bit on the previous slides. The common mistake we all do is whenever we browsing some the email or browsing some websites, we are have intention to accept all the cookies. Don't do it. What is necessary for you to do it on that particular website, you enable only those relevant cookies has to be enabled. This is now mandate for all the browsers, all the websites. You can see that like cookies preference, the tab, you can go and enable only those cookies. Don't trust anyone blindly. So like always be aware of the fake email coming from, and the cyber attacks will mask behind the fake email, and they will be lure your information. Be careful when you are connecting the free Wi-Fi, right? The free Wi-Fi today available in most of our public network. Either you go to railway station or your bus station or you go to the any airport or any institution, the Wi-Fi is available openly and freely. When you are engaging with public Wi-Fi, be careful. Don't do any personal activities like bank transaction or email, like login and viewing your email. Be careful. There is a high chances that your data can be monitored and data can be like exfiltrated by an attacker. And like when we are doing this kind of awareness, the cyber awareness, what is good, what is bad, and we should be very careful when in tomorrow when you are building any system or when you are building any software, we should be careful on these three triads. What is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability? What is confidentiality? Which information you are going to protect, which information you are going to trust, which information you are making sure that it is always available for you. So it is even is applicable for you in your personal life also, not in the availability perspective, but the confidentiality and integrity, which personal information which we are going to protect, which we are going to trust them, you always apply in your day-to-day life when you are engaging with any digital activity. So when you're talking about the CIA triads, it is important to understand the cyber kill chain, how attacker can getting into the system. As I explained before, they will be identifying the vulnerability inside your system. Through that vulnerability, they will getting into your system. They will understand your infrastructure, what sort of operating system you are using, what sort of mobile you are using, what sort of application you are installed into your machine or your mobile, any weakness over there. Through that, they will be getting your data and they will be using it for their own personal benefits. So always attacker will have their own motivation. They will be identifying the mean. That mean is basically an opportunity, will lead to an opportunity to exfiltrate your information and they can do the data theft. And this is the basically how the cyber security is evolved, and what are like the cases we should be aware of it. And there are certain tips when you are engaging with online activities. It's starting from your email or a bank account. Don't use a common password for all your account. Say for example, your password is common for your email, your bank account, your social media account. Don't do that. If your one account is compromised, your entire account of bank or your email account, everything will be compromised. Frequently, update your password. Go with a complex password. Don't choose your password as your date of birth or your like a nickname. Always go with a strong password, a combination of like a special character or ASCII character. And like the some applications or like have a small intent. Don't try to install all like a free software into your mobile or into your laptop. Be careful when you are installing it. It is solving, it has any malintent or it is legitimate software. Be clear on that. Take a time to read a terms and condition. And we have a practice that simply click the term and condition checkbox and say go and install it. There will be a like a malintention behind. There will be a terms and condition says that I want to access your data, I want to access your camera, I want to access your keystroke. There will be a like a malintent behind the terms and condition. Carefully read that, take a time and accept them, and further proceeding on installing any software or engaging any online activity. Careful on the social media life when you are using any Facebook or WhatsApp or your Instagram. Each and every online interaction, we should be clear on what you are sharing and who is going to watch it. And don't share your personal information in a public. Keep your account private. Accept or invite the people who already aware of it. It's very important. Most of the attacks today happening with all the social media accounts. Be careful on that. So when we are talking about the online safety and tips, and we are talking about the general cybersecurity, how we need to secure our system, it is important to understand from the industrial automation point of view, like how in the industrial automation we are using the cybersecurity. We are also from the industrial automation side, we are transforming into the digital era, right? As I said, we are moving into the digital era. Our data is on the cloud. We are also exploring the artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithm, and the connectivity between the global world and the industry. It is now thin, right? Or it is fading away. So we should be careful on when we are deploying any industrial automation offers or a solution to the customer or the user. So we should protect our critical infrastructure, right? So when we go into the industrial automation, it is not only a data theft, it is more than that, right? For example, the nation state attack is evolving on the critical infrastructure like a nuclear plant or a water reservoir. If any war between the two country, they are using the cyber uh, like the war frame. They are using the cyber war and creating like a malware or like a spyware, trying to attack the the critical infrastructure that will impact the country growth or impact the people of that particular nation, right? So this is evolving today, and every country is investing huge amount of money to protect their critical infrastructure and protecting their citizen from the cyber attacks, right? Various compliances started evolving. It's a country specific or it is a globally. Each and every country has their own cyber security compliances, and across the globe we are also following certain compliances to be met, to secure our user, to secure our country or secure the entire world from the cyber attack. So when we are talking about the industrial automation, like a cybersecurity, the one of the industrial automation, the cyber attack is the first cyber attack which will impact the physical infrastructure of yeah, the nuclear plant, right? So it's happened like during 2000 time frame. It's called as technets. So there is a lot of documentary and the books on this particular topic. So this is basically created by the country specific attack. Certain countries, they want to bring down the Iranian nuclear the invention to be stopped. They build their own um, the the malware, and they inject it into the nuclear plant and make sure that they are attacked by this malware. Okay, so this is basically like it is, they have created a 600 kb of a small malware and then ship along with a pen drive or a USB drive that unknowingly the user connected into the machine. They can take the control of the complete critical infrastructure, that is a nuclear plant, and try to impact their process. And like they are not aware of it, what's going on behind the scene. It is silently like silently, like invade into their machine and start exfiltrating information, start, impacting some of their critical, the piece of their, the nuclear process that is called centrifugal. It is impacting that, and then later realize that it is become a country specific attack. Okay, so it's not only a data, it is going to be impact your critical infrastructure. A country specific attack can be realized with this cyber malware. So what is important for us to learn, right? It is not only a concept, not only what we should aware from the cybersecurity, what are the technology, what are the opportunity. It is important for us to know the various aspects how to away from the cyber attack, right? It's always, as I mentioned, safe use, to use the password, not to continually using the common password across your account, and don't use your public Wi-Fi. Antivirus is not alone to protect your machine or your mobile. Cybersecurity is for everyone's responsibility. And like, any emails which you are receiving from your financial institution or your organization, please verify the legitimacy of those email or the content before acting on that. And like, update your software whenever any update on the operating system or a software, go and update it. Don't wait for a time. It is important to always up to date software, always patching your machine is important. And like, don't encourage your pop-ups. If any pop-ups is coming into your machine, please review the content before accepting and say click OK on those pop-up. Okay. And like, it's not always good to post your personal information onto the social media. Please aware of that. Okay. So this is all, like, awareness part. And I want to thank your time. And as is, again and again I'm saying, cybersecurity is not one person responsibility, it's not a technical people responsibility. Cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. And we all learn about cybersecurity, create an awareness about the cybersecurity in your society, your known people. Be vigilant from any cyber attacks. Make sure that you are well protected, and like, your machines are protected, your environment is protected, your country is protected from any cyber attack. Be a responsible citizen, protect the nation, protect the people, and protect any critical infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suresh, for sharing these valuable insights on cybersecurity. After this session, it's clear that each of us has an important role to play in protecting our data. Cybersecurity isn't just a critical topic within the industry, it's directly affecting us as individuals and as members of society. So, thank you very much for your time and for sharing this with all of us. To everyone watching, we invite you to keep exploring and to keep learning. Click the link in the description to visit the Schneider Electric University website, which is our free digital learning platform filled with e-learning modules, virtual reality simulations, and more interesting masterclasses like this one. Our content is designed to help young professionals like you build your skills and dive into the green energy sector. So please register today